Edo Minato destroys puppets in this Naruto game. Guys, this is Naruto Storm Connections pre-patch before the hard patch that changed basically its coding from its own unique special game with all the fast chakra regenerations, crazy armor, and all this other stuff, right? To more of a Naruto Storm 4.5, right? Or basically the next evolution of Naruto Storm 4, right? And people are still not happy, even though they went out of their way to do that. I really don't think they should. Yes, they should have balanced it, but not like that to appease the masses, because most of those people didn't even migrate back. Nice grab. So there's a lot to talk about that, but guys, let's talk about how crazy and how much of a nightmare Edo Minato was against puppet players. Now, this isn't the best puppet player in the world, right? Absolutely not, but he is a really good puppet player. He's a really good player. But it's just that Edo Minato is that good, and I'm not even that crazy with him. I probably played him less than 10 times, less than 15 times, and I'm just figuring out how to play him and having some fun here. I'm more of an Alive Minato player, and we got the GOAT support Hinata, who was, this is before she got nerfed, and he ran into that Rasengan, good times. So what happened pre-patch is there was tons of armor. The Flying Rajan level 2 Jitsu was basically invincible for the most part. Ooh, another guard break into grab. And he could teleport across the map for free, which basically denies the space of all the puppets. I made this guy switch off. I made him switch off of Sasori because that's how broken the level 2 Rasengan or Flying Rajan was. Eventually he'll come back onto Sasori, and I mean, he just isn't going to have a chance. I miss the Shinra Tensei of Nagato here because they just nerfed it into the ground after the patch. This is pre-patch gameplay, so it's very rare gameplay that you're not going to get a chance to see, and it is just before. Look at that. Look at that. Instant startup of the Shinra Tensei was actually valuable. It was actually useful, but now you basically have to just use Azura Cannon because Shinra Tensei is a waste of chakra for the most part. So some dash clashing here. Very nice, Kakuzu. But we go in with the Flying Rajan and we set things up. It's very, very difficult to interact with that Minato's Jitsu. And of course, when they chase, you can hit him with a Rasengan. Very interesting. People basically wrongfully accuse you of spamming when they're chasing and running into your Rasengan. One thing I'm not doing with Minato is running. So it's very interesting. There it is, the Shinra Tensei in all its glory, guys, before it got nerfed. I love it. And it should be like that, where if you do something wrong, you're punished. But now it's just been completely nerfed into the ground. It doesn't even work properly. It's one of the best Jitsus in the series, and it's not even a threat. Its threat level is like a 1 out of 10. It is useless. But right there, that's how it should be. When I decide to dash and he says, no, you're not allowed to come in, I should not be allowed to dash you. That is how it should be, but I should be able to sub and go back in. That's all they had to do. That's all they had to do to pain Shinra Tensei. The other Shinra Tenseis were fine. They didn't have to touch them. They didn't have to touch Nagato. They didn't have to touch the last Sasuke. All right, guys, let's see what happens. Is he actually going to switch back to Sasori, or are we just going to fight this Nagato? See how he did it? I went back in and I punished him and he lost chakra for it. Of course, the regen is here. But regen is not like infinite chakra, but it's really, really good. Once again, running into that Rasengan, guys. And we, on the rebound, tried to get him with a level 2. It didn't work. I probably wasted it there. And damn, like, it is what it is. We made him switch off of Sasori onto Nagato. And we're going crazy with the combo to ultimate. Flying Rajan. Crazy, crazy ultimate Jitsu. Man, this kind of gives me spamming vibes because usually the Edo Minato players in Storm 4, who was, by the way, Storm 4 on the PlayStation anyways, PlayStation 4, the most used character of all time is Edo Minato. It's like 4-point-something%. I have that video too. People thought I was like giving you an opinion. It wasn't an opinion. It was 100% facts, and some people disliked it, not understanding that it was a factual thing. I might redo those with commentary so there's no confusion. I'll take responsibility for that and do more. That's why I do more commentary videos, because what I think people, sometimes what I think is like very clear is not. And that's actually on me. I should try my best to add commentary to videos to explain certain things. So he's still on Nagato. That means he's scared. His Sasori is scared of my Minato. But guys, that interaction was very skilled. I'm very happy to see him do a sequence of skilled things. That Shinra Tensei into wall physics into grab, that was phenomenal. He did a good job. You know, even though this is ranked, even though basically you don't have friends in ranked for the most part, and you know it's not about being polite and niceties, it's about winning in a competition for the most part, but we can't really have that because of the lag and inconsistency, right? It is, look at that, oh my god, flying Rajan to punish. It just makes almost everything useless. Can you still do this now? I think so, but I haven't really tried it out competitively. The reason why you can't really do it as well, look at that, Rasengan just to get the spacing and positioning and to guard break. That whole sequence there, that was just sublime. That was superb. It was stupendous. It was phenomenal. Guys, that is, you know, a skilled way to use him, but right there I would say I was pushing the limits of that Flying Rajan level 2. It was super abusable. It was super spammy. I hated playing Edo Minato players, to be honest, and that's why I never used this character. I used a live Minato, but even that was tough, and he had a bad reputation, but guys, he was just too strong. Edo Minato was probably the best character in the game if you knew how to use him properly, but even then he had a high skill floor, meaning anyone could abuse him and win. Yeah, I basically made this guy switch off. I can't believe it, guys. But I'm hoping here for the last fight that he brings the Sasori back, because yes, he brought it back. Perfect. Perfect. Smart use of Shinra Tensei. Let's see what he does. I'm happy to see. Perfect grab. Good job. He's actually winning. This is what we like to see. But what did I do? Flying Rajan. Edo Minato and his Flying Rajan level 2 was the worst nightmare of any puppet player. If I knew this, I probably would have mained him earlier, but the thing is, he was so egregiously broken and disgusting and so not my type of character. Now, though, that he's been nerfed, like super nerfed, I would maybe consider playing him, potentially. I just don't like his awakening. I like Alive Minato's awakening more. We're getting crazy with the grabs, guard break into Rasengan, and we're just literally, Sasori becomes like a ragdoll. Puppets become like a ragdoll. You can just do whatever you want. That kunai pressure is disgusting as well. It locks them in and it makes them uncomfortable, and you can just grab them like that in certain setups with supports. And it's not good, guys. Another Rasengan entry into kunai combos. It's nuts. It's nuts. Look at that. Even those bags are not good for puppet players. They pressure them. But right there, that was a really good, two good things. He got the poison jutsu off into a grab, and luckily, Hinata saved us, but not enough for him to stun him into his awakening. But look at that. He does his secret red move, and I just do a Flying Rajan too, like it doesn't even matter. And I did it again. Everything that he does gets countered. Everything he does gets countered by this Minato. When he had armor, he was basically like Superman in this game. He could do whatever he wanted. And that, like, basically air combo into Flying Rajan level 2. That's crazy. That was actually one of the most convincing rounds ever. That round right there. I'll probably timestamp it. Hopefully people can like that and leave some comments there on that. But it's interesting. It took us a little while to get into it, but finally, that's why people like to do longer sets, right? It's like a best of 3, but a 3 set of that, which is basically a best of 10 rounds, right? It's 9 rounds if you go back and forth, but if you don't, it's just, you know, it becomes 2 instead of 3. Very nice, breaking it up. I thought that would cancel Nagato, but it did not. And just a simple kunai knocks down the puppet from trying to attack me, so that's good. And this is not looking good for Owen. Now, I have nothing against Owen. I don't think he's a bad person. He was actually one of the most respectful puppet players, and one of the puppet players I enjoyed fighting. And it's unfortunate that I used this character, but at the same time, I had to learn these characters. I was in the process of learning these characters for tier lists and for learning how the game works. Because when you fight against an Edo Minato player, one of the best things to do is to actually play the character so you know the ins and outs of the character to a certain degree, right? So like I said, even to this day, I have probably less than 20 fights under my belt, 20, 25 fights with this character. But as you can see, this Puppets were no match for the old Edo Minato. Back in the day, he just destroyed them. He just crushed them. He broke them into pieces.